Have you ever poured your heart into creating a brilliant presentation that solved the company's problems, that showcased your expertise, and then you got to the day where you had to present it in front of the team or in front of the board, and you get up there and you present and you look out and you've lost them. You look out and you see a bunch of bored, expressionless faces. Even worse, you see a bunch of foreheads as people are checking their phones underneath the table. You realize that people are no longer looking towards you and leaning in towards you as if they're paying attention, but rather they're just kind of fidgeting, tapping their toes, looking elsewhere. If this happens, you've lost them, and it's an awful feeling. I've experienced it, and it's very, very difficult to get people back once you've lost them. And the reason why we lose them are multiple reasons. Number one, we've just given them way too much data, too much information, and their brain has just gotten tired and they've just checked out. Another real problem is that the information being presented is very dull and boring, and is being presented in a manner that's dull and boring. So again, the listener's mind has just gotten tired and checked out. Or another reason is that the information is really in the form of a verbal narrative without many images and pictures and things that really spice up a presentation and keep people's attention. So these are all challenges that occur and cause people to stop paying attention. In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 very simple yet powerful strategies to ensure that you're able to keep the audience's attention through the course of the session and the presentation and keep them engaged. The first strategy is to use your physicality and use your tone and your voice as tools to keep people's attention. If you are like a statue and you do not move, and your voice is like a single tone, musical tone that doesn't change, people will not pay attention. It just gets drawn out of a person's attention. You must use your voice as a tool, and use your facial expressions, use your body language, use physical movement to keep people's attention on you. And if you don't know how to do that because you're perhaps unsure of how to use your body language, I would challenge you to take an improv course. The second strategy is simply to engage your audience. Switch your presentation from being a monologue to a dialogue, and you do this by intentionally asking different people questions. That will draw them in and really help them internalize and better understand what you're sharing in the first place. The next strategy is to build presentations that are designed for the eye and use multimedia. That means you incorporate video. That means you create slides that are designed to be like billboards, where you take a glance at it and you get a gist of what's going on, versus them being designed like white papers where people have to read everything and there's just so much text, or they don't know where to put their eyes. Because when that happens, they're so focused on trying to figure out what's on there that they ignore the words that are coming out of your mouth. They can either listen to you or read. And what happens is oftentimes we confuse their brains by putting a lot of words through our mouth and a lot of words on paper, on the slides as well. So I would challenge you to clean that up and use multimedia. And the last strategy is simply to move towards your audience, because what this does is it makes your gestures and your facial expressions louder and bigger, and it creates a connection with your audience because you're getting closer to them versus moving further away, and that will keep them engaged. And there you have it. To keep your audience engaged, change your physicality and use your voice as a tool. Get them engaged in the presentation by asking them questions. Use better multimedia and then move towards them. As a knowledge worker, staying relevant and competitive in today's workplace is a challenge. Honing your skills, developing your skills, continuously growing is essential. And if you're somebody who wants to develop those skills, your communication skills, your leadership skills, your ability to navigate change more effectively, I can help. Now, if you're somebody who just wants to kind of touch your toes in the water, dip your toes in the water, the first place to start is my free ebook, which is called Stand and Deliver. And it's just essentially 12 strategies that will help you become a better communicator in any public situation you find yourself in. If you're somebody a little bit more adventurous who wants to go to that next level, well, I have an online course that I would challenge you to take. It is called Communication essentials. And this has 25 videos that will help you become a great communicator in any situation, in any scenario that you have. And that is essential to remaining relevant and competitive. Or if you're somebody who just wants to accelerate their development, well then, that's where we can work together. Contact me at john@johngodoy.com and let's reserve a free 15-minute session to discuss your growth.